Today we're going to learn how to evaluate geometric series. Geometric series is the sum of all the terms in a geometric sequence. The formula that we will be using is S of n is equal to a sub 1 times the quantity 1 minus r to the n all over 1 minus r. The value of r, or the common ratio here, cannot be equal to 1. N is the number of terms, a sub 1 is the first term, and r is the common ratio. In finding the sum of a geometric sequence, the first thing that we need to do is identify the first term a sub 1, the common ratio r, and the value of n, or the number of terms. Number 2, substitute the values for a sub 1, r, and n into the formula for the geometric series. And finally, we need to simplify and find the value for s of n. Here are the 5 examples of geometric series. Find the sum of each geometric sequence given n the number of terms. Give it a try and play the video whenever you're ready for the solutions. Question number 1. Given the sequence negative 1, negative 2, negative 4, negative 8, and so on, since n is equal to 8, this means that we need to find the sum of the first 8 terms of this geometric sequence. To begin, we need to find first the value of a sub 1, r, and n. Our first term is negative 1, our n is equal to 8, and what do you think is the common ratio? The common ratio here is 2 because the pattern is multiplying the previous term by 2. And you can determine the r by dividing negative 2 divided by negative 1, negative 4 divided by negative 2, and negative 8 divided by negative 4. That gives us a common ratio. Now we will use the formula S of n is equal to a sub 1 times 1 minus r to the n all over 1 minus r. N is 8, so we're solving for the sum of 8 terms, S of 8. Our a sub 1 is negative 1, multiplied by 1 minus the common ratio is 2, and n is 8. All over, we have 1 minus 2. Simplifying this, we have negative 1 times 1 minus 2 to the 8 is 256. And denominator, 1 minus 2 is negative 1. Simplifying this further, negative 1 divided by negative 1 is positive 1. And 1 minus 256 is negative 255. So this means the sum of the first 8 terms in this geometric sequence is negative 255. Question number 2. Find the sum of the geometric sequence 3, negative 6, 12, negative 24 when n is equal to 9. So first is we need to identify our a sub 1, r, and n. Our a sub 1 is 3 and n is equal to 9. What do you think is the common ratio? Common ratio can be obtained by dividing negative 6 divided by 3, or 12 divided by negative 6, or negative 24 divided by 12. And that is negative 2. So the common ratio here is negative 2. Since n is equal to 9, we need to find the sum of the first 9 terms of this geometric sequence. And we will use the formula S of n is equal to a sub 1 times 1 minus r to the n all over 1 minus r. N is 9, so we're solving for S sub 9. A sub 1 is positive 3 times 1 minus negative 2 to the power of 9 all over 1 minus negative 2, and that becomes plus 2. Simplifying this, we have 3 times 1 minus negative 2 to the power of 9 is negative 512, and that becomes now plus 512. Denominator is 3. Simplifying this, 3 divided by 3 is 1. So the sum of the 9 terms in this geometric sequence is 1 plus 512, and that is 513. Question number 3. Find the sum of the geometric sequence -4, 12, -36, 108, and so on when n is equal to 10. So the first step is to find the value of a sub 1, r, and the value of n. Our a sub 1 is -4, n is equal to 10. And what do you think is the r value? R value can be obtained by dividing 12 divided by -4, or -36 over 12, or 108 over -36. So r here is -3. Since n is equal to 10, this problem means we need to find the sum of the first 10 terms of this geometric sequence. So we need to use the formula s of n is equal to a sub 1 times 1 minus r to the n all over 1 minus r. N is 10, so we have s sub 10. Our a sub 1 is -4. 1 minus common ratio is -3 to the 10th power all over 1 minus -3, and that becomes plus 3. Simplifying this, we have -4 times 1 minus -3 to the 10th power is 59,049. All over 1 plus 3, and that is 4. Simplifying this, -4 divided by 4 is -1. And simplifying the parentheses, that is -59048. So our S of 10 here is 59,048. Question number 4. Find the sum of the geometric sequence -108, -36, -12, -4 when n is equal to 11. So first we need to find the value of a sub 1, r, and the value of n. In this sequence, the first term is -108 and n is equal to 11. What do you think is the common ratio? Common ratio here can be obtained by dividing -36 over -108, or -12 over -36, or -4 over -12. And that is 1/3 in simplest form. Since n is equal to 11, this problem means we need to find the sum of the first 11 terms of the geometric sequence. We now use the formula S of n is equal to a sub 1 times 1 minus r to the n all over 1 minus r. N is 11, so we're solving for S of 11. A sub 1 is -108. And we have 1 minus 1/3 to the power of 11 all over 1 minus 1/3. Simplifying this, we have -108 times 1 minus 1 over 177,147. All over 1 minus 1/3 is 2/3. Simplifying this, we have -108 times. Simplifying the parentheses, we will have 177,146 all over 177,147, because we're simply subtracting 1 over the denominator. Dividing by 2/3 is the same thing as multiplying this by 3 over 2. The easiest way to simplify this problem is to multiply first -108 times 3 divided by 2, and that gives you -162. And then multiply by the numerator 177,146, and that gives us 28,697,652 all over the denominator 177,147. So this is the sum of the 11 terms of this geometric sequence. Question number 5. Find the sum of the geometric sequence 4, -2, 1, -1 half when n is equal to 12. So the first step is to find the value of a sub 1, r, and n. Our a sub 1 is 4, that's the first term. N is equal to 12. What do you think is the common ratio? The common ratio here is -1 half, because -2 divided by 4 is -1 half in simplest form, or you can also do 1 divided by -2 or -1 half divided by 1. Since n is equal to 12, this means we need to find the sum of the first 12 terms of this geometric sequence. We will use the formula S of n is equal to a sub 1 times 1 minus r to the n all over 1 minus r. N is 12, so we will have S sub 12 is equal to a sub 1 is 4, 1 minus -1 half to the power of 12 all over 1 minus -1 half, so that is plus 1 half. Now let's simplify this. So we have 4 times, simplifying the parentheses, we have 1 minus -1 half to the 12th power is 1 over 4096 all over 1 plus 1 half is 1 and a half, or 3 over 2. Simplifying this, we have 4 times 1 minus 1 over 4096 is 4095 over 4096. Because you're only subtracting 1 over 4096. Multiply this by the reciprocal of 3 over 2, which is 2 over 3. Using your calculator, just multiply 4, 4095, and 2. That is 32,760 over. Multiplying 4096 and 3, we get 1,288. Simplifying this further, we have 1,365 over 512. This is the sum of the 12 terms of this geometric sequence. Thank you for watching, and please consider subscribing to my channel at Celzo Academy.